Hi, today we're going to be working on Unit 5, Lesson 3 notes. This is going to go over Pythagorean theorem and right triangle trig, which you all should have gone over in IM2. So the very first thing, Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. C squared is the c is always going to be your hypotenuse, which is going to be your longest side. And a and b, it doesn't really matter. Those are your legs. And so on the first one, I just labeled it. And so we're going to go 17 squared plus x squared. I just like finding missing sides with x equals 19 squared. Now you could multiply everything, but I find if you just go ahead and do minus 17 squared, it will be a lot better, a lot easier. And do not say this is 2 squared. Go 19 minus 17 equals 2 and the squares come down. It is not. I've had students do that before. Now put it in the calculator or Desmos and you find that. Now to get rid of the square, we're going to do the square root. And we're only going to do the positive number. We don't need to worry about the negative of a square root this time because the length cannot be negative. And we're going to get x to be about 8.49. That is not a good one, sorry. 8.49. Now with the next one, label the sides A, B, C, and we can get it to be 5 squared plus 13 squared equals x squared. And on the calculator, you're just going to go 5 squared plus 13 squared, or in Desmos, and you get 194 equals x squared. Take the square root of it, and we're going to get C to be about 13.93. It needs to be the long. C always is the longest, so we knew it had to be bigger than 13. All right, next one is SOHCAHTOA, so sine, cosine, tangent. So if you remember, SOHCAHTOA. And if we're going from A, this would be our opposite, hypotenuse, and adjacent. Always do adjacent last. It will be a lot better for you in the long run. So we're going to start with 37. This is opposite, hypotenuse, adjacent. And I'm going to cross out the sides that don't have x or a number. I have A and H, which is going to be cosine. So I'm going to go cosine 37 equals my adjacent over the hypotenuse. Now it's a little shortcut. You could do cross multiplying, but there's a shortcut that all we have to do is switch your x and your cosine 37. So we're going to go x equals 11 over cosine 37. And usually we want this to be one in the round. Sorry, tongue-tied. You want to have at least a number to the 10th, rounded to the 10th. So it's going to be 13.8. Then if we go to the next one, opposite, hypotenuse, adjacent. This time we have no h, so it has to be tangent. So we're going to go tan 32 equals your opposite over your adjacent. So x over 13. So when x is on top, we're going to cross multiply. So 1 times x is x. And I find that when you're multiplying by sine, cosine, or tangent, you always want this number to be in front. Always, always, always. Otherwise, students forget to put parentheses at the end to cross to end the tangent 32. And it gives you a wrong number. And this one's going to be 8.1. Here we got 57, opposite, hypotenuse, and adjacent. O and H, so that's sine. Sine 57. Sounds like Heinz 57, the ketchup. And we're going to do the opposite over the hypotenuse. X again is on the bottom. So we're going to just switch it. And the nice thing is if you put this into Desmos, or if you have a good calculator, you just write what you see. You type in what you see and it'll actually do the work for you. If you're doing it on your phone, you have to go a little bit backwards. You're going to have to find out what sine 57 is and then write it down and then go 10.8 divided by that. Using Desmos, a lot easier. Okay, next one we're going to do, that was to find for the missing side. Now we're going to do is find the missing angle. And this one, you're going to use the inverse sign. So sine, cosine, tangent to the -1. And whenever we go onto a new page, I always like to write my trig. That way I don't have to be flipping papers over. Start from the angle you're going. Opposite, hypotenuse, and adjacent. I don't have an A and H. I can see it's going to be cosine. So cosine theta. That's just another way of saying x. It's a Greek symbol. We're using it for angle. And it's adjacent over hypotenuse. Now the nice thing with this one is when we want to get the cosine by itself, we're basically multiplying both sides by cosine to the -1, which is the inverse, and it crosses these two out. And all we're going to get is theta equals cosine to the -1, 12 over 13. Usually you're going to be, you have to use invert or a second button. So be careful on that one. And with angles, we round it to the nearest whole number. We get 23 degrees. Okay, next one, opposite, hypotenuse and adjacent. This one goes away. So we have O and A. So that's tangent of theta equals your opposite over adjacent. We're going to multiply both sides by tangent -1. And theta, if you put it in the calculator, it's going to be 17 degrees. I'm just skipping that first step, but second step right here, but you can definitely write it if you need to. Here we have opposite, hypotenuse, and there we don't even have to go further because we have everything we need. So sine theta, or you can do x, equals the opposite over the hypotenuse, sine -1, theta equals 68 degrees. And now you're going to go work on your assignment.